Hey everyone, welcome to.
Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, guess who's back? Back again.
Never leaving. Ain't gonna be no other guest here apart from me.
Yes, that's not true. But guess who's back?
I'm back.
Guess who's back? And today we're gonna have an interesting conversation.
Interesting.
Very interesting. We will see how it goes.
Yes, sir.
We'll see how it goes. But we'll be talking about our perspectives, different perspectives on the opposite sex in relationships.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
what
sir.
is your take on? I guess it has to do with me having friends of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel? What are your limits? What do you feel is like no? What do you feel is like okay? Or feel like oh it's cool, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they exist. I feel like the people in your person's life won't all be female. Okay, there will be guys, men in her life surrounding her. Yes, right, and I feel like it hinges a lot on trust. Right, it hinges a lot on trust. I've got to trust that she's guarding her heart first of all, because we're all instructed to guard our hearts, right? I can't guard it for her. I mean, I can help keep her accountable, but I can't do the guarding for her. So first of all, you've got to trust that she's doing her part in guarding her own heart. And secondly, you've got to trust that she's doing her part in being faithful to the relationship. Right. So now, if that trust is not there, then your mind starts to and start coming up with a lot of conclusions and stuff. Now, trust again is not just something that's just as because you're in a relationship, there has to be trust. Because you're in a relationship, you have to earn each other's trust, right? So I have to live my life in a way that builds trust in you that I'm doing sensible things, right? So if I've built a pattern of just lying and sneaking around, and then you hear, oh, I'm going for a movie with there's this girl, and another guy. Already now thinking, because of a lifestyle that you've seen, right? So in that sense, that's how kind of like trust needs to be earned. So if already from maybe like when you meet me, I'm just not that guy who's like, I'm just gonna go out for a movie with this girl and we're the two of us, and like, yes, we're just friends, but no, I'm just gonna. If already you meet me and I'm already creating those type of like boundaries because I don't want to mess up, I'm trying to guard my heart. I don't want to start having thoughts or whatever about this person who's not even my girlfriend or have no plans of marrying or whatever, right? And you find me at that place where I'm already making those boundaries. I'm already uncomfortable with being in secluded areas with certain people and blah 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 blah. It already kind of begins to build that trust. Yeah, things like even communicating. I think like this girl kind of has a crush on me, so I'm just kind of like, stuff like that builds trust. But then if you're just a shady human being, I'm sorry. No matter how you say, hey babe, you don't even trust me. You didn't give me a reason to, Yeah, so I feel like they will be there. It's a matter of trust. It's a matter of having trust in your person, them constantly earning your trust and building on it. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like it can get messy. It can get really messy. With who's that? Even you were trying to explain me. Like it can get really ugly. Yeah, they can be now seeing each other in a different light, just having negative feelings towards each other, and especially like negative feelings towards each other that are like harbored and like bothered for quite a while. I think, yeah, then it even gets like really, really ugly. Yeah, that's my tongue way on the matter.
That's interesting. Okay. I
Yeah.
think that's something, yeah, definitely agree with a couple of things. But before I start saying what I agreed with, I'll just also give my perspective. So I think for me, it's like, firstly, the type of friendship. But then it's a bit tricky again also, because I mean I met Joshua and he had his female friends, as he said, like before I came into the picture, and I guess they have their friendship and the way it's going already, and you know, the way they talk, whatever it is. And I think there are certain things, like for me, speaking from me, I don't know if other females like feel this way, but you know, there are certain things that that you feel comfortable with, and certain things which are just like, is it necessary though? Is it very
Why? Okay,
necessary?
why? Okay, why?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, luckily from my personal experience, I feel like I've met somebody I think he's very intentional about not giving me like question marks. I think it's very important, like when you're in a relationship, that's one thing that I've seen, to like live in a way that doesn't make your partner now start having questions. And you know,
It's unnecessary.
yeah, it's very
It's just
unnecessary. Like also,
unnecessary.
when it comes to those friendships, and thing would be, I think it starts a lot with the person, like me myself, living, as he said, living in a way that doesn't put those question marks. So I think it's a lot to put on someone to tell them like, oh, this is just my friend, we're just close, we just chill, you know. Like, you know, doing certain things, it's a lot to put on someone else to like trust that it just ends a friendship. So I think making sure like me, like, or him, to have those boundaries, like, you know, like, okay, you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think love sometimes gets interesting, for lack of better term, especially when there are feelings involved and emotions and stuff. And that's why I go back to saying that I think it's important to not add that extra pressure to someone and make them start now thinking like, okay, I have to. So just, I think if it can be avoided, I think you should avoid having like certain unnecessary not unnecessary friendships. I don't want to sound like you should cut people off, you shouldn't,
I
but
think
boundaries, that's the word.
Yeah.
Having boundaries, because at the end of the day, you're trying to build something with someone, and you want like your foundation, and like as you're building, to build it on like good ground, and not from a place, as my amazing man said, of like having questions and all that stuff. Even the aspect of trust, as he said, trust needs to be built. But I also want to say that even in a place where trust has been lost, it is possible for trust to like to be rebuilt. So
It's hard, but
it's hard, but yeah,
it's worth it.
yeah. Then for me, like speaking like on my experience, I do feel like, and this is something that should I even anyway?
Spill.
Like, you know, like somebody just has friends, normal female friends, but sometimes for me to be like, there's just that thing. It just comes in, like, you know, that they're just friends, like, you know, and like the flip just they just, you know, the switch flip. Like, you know that they're just friends. But I think also an important thing is, and that's one thing that I'm like, I tell myself, like, also work on yourself to make sure that, like, are you okay? Like, some thoughts, they come from you not being okay with yourself. And you know, like, these people are genuinely just friends, but like you still want to bring up like unnecessary thoughts, and you know, but like now also bringing it back to you, like, are you okay and confident in yourself, or or not. So in as much as you're monitoring how you relate with other people, also how are you relating with yourself, and like what's going on inside you. It's not always about like the outside, but sometimes it's about the inside.
That's beautiful. I think even for specifically to guys, right? Because I mean, obviously, I can relate more to what we go through. I don't know about Gozas or whatever. She said, come on, check out something. Right? But then for us guys, even in terms of like guarding our hearts, is you have to be mad intentional. One, if you value, if you're in a relationship, if you value that relationship, if you're married, if you value your marriage, or if you just also just value your heart, even if you're just single and whatever, right? If you value your heart, guarding your heart is like it has to be super intentional, because your body doesn't know that you are saved. Your body is just in fact it wants the opposite of what your spirit wants, right? So your body is what you need to take. And so yes, you've got a female friend, but you know what you like about maybe China Topi. China Topi, and no, she's just my friend. But me the two of you, well, now come to my place, I cook for you, come on. Like sometimes you have to take drastic measures, you know what I'm saying, to protect what you value. And I hope you value like your heart above anything else, rather than just giving into whatever your body desires. I remember not so long ago, sometime has passed, but not so long ago, I had a conversation with a female friend of mine. Now the way she is, and you know herself, the way she is, she's very, you know, expressive, physical, whatnot. And then now, I know this is how she is. But I'm like, I value what I have here. Now, she didn't bring it up, right? They didn't bring it up because she hasn't seen this thing yet. Maybe she has, I don't know, she's just been keeping quiet. Right? But then I had to bring it up with her and say, okay, Karia, that kind of thing you do, Karia, it's a bit too, you know, too touchy, too please. I love where I'm going in life. Right? And at first she kind of didn't get it, because me, I knew, okay, this is how she is. I said, okay, no, when you do it, I'll show you. Right? So hanging out with friends or having lunch, and she decides to clean. I said, waona? And she was like, okay, no, I see. I said, thank you for seeing it. Yes, just, you know, yeah, it's that, right? Because wow. I mean, I understand her, and for me, it's like,
me, I don't understand.
Exactly. You see, and because me, I don't want fighting here. She doesn't. I don't have to wait for her to come tell me, no, I don't like how your friend does. Me alone, myself. I value my relationship. I value my heart. Okay, exactly. So stuff like that. Like, do what it takes to protect what you value and protect your heart. Don't conquer your body. Don't trust your body. Don't trust your friend. Don't. No me, I know my. Don't.
You don't know it. You
don't do it. Just protect your heart. Protect what you value. It's peace of mind. It's peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because certain things, guys, it's not worth it. Like it's not. When you see the ripple effect and how, first of all, just how messed up it will make you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah.
Another thought came to my mind, like when you talked about being like very, very intentional, and like I think being intentional about things, like it's hard. Like you know, that's why it's good being intentional. You have to be like alert. You have to be focused. You need to know like what triggers you and what doesn't. And the thought that came to my mind was also emotionally, like how you're getting attached to certain friends emotionally.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't also end on the physical, but there's also that emotional aspect. So
dropping gems, guys. Just
yeah. So, and for me, one thing that I used to struggle with, I don't know if you know, I don't know, like I used to, in the beginning, I used to feel like, especially when we argue or something happens here, I would find emotional comfort in other places. Until like I noticed like, okay, but like I'm getting this sort of comfort, yes, but like is it with the right people? And like, you know, what is this like, you know, and it wouldn't even be in a way like I'm telling them what's going on. I just want somebody to like talk to and like ease that emotional, you know, stress or pain. And like, but like now what is that doing to me? Like when everything's whenever something happens, I'm running to like somebody else. And so also like just knowing like, are you investing too much of your emotions, where like emotions that, you know, should be going to a different place? and you're taking
Yeah.
them into certain friendships. Are you building something like with your emotions with that person? I think also being
That's
alert
beautiful. Yeah.
to that. With that, to that, alert to. I thought.
Chizungu,
Chizungu.
Chabonse. Karanche aware.
I mean, yeah. Do you have anything to say about the emotional?
Not really.
Though
I mean,
I
it
have a
just
question. So does it mean that is it like do you draw a line when it comes to like people confiding in you? Like people of
yeah.
the
For me,
opposite sex?
I draw the line very quickly. If it's just surface stuff, maybe even the stuff to do with the scripture, I don't understand this because I believe blah 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 blah. We can talk, right? But then if it's getting like to an emotional level, even sometimes maybe sex. There's one chick a long time ago before we were even right, and she was like, "No, I'm struggling with sexual thoughts in my head," and I was like,
Did she start telling you that?